Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ramsey Jordan, and today we're talking about divine toxicity. This is a phrase I've coined whilst writing my new book. And having survived two intensely traumatic, what people would normally call toxic relationships. Through studying my way out of these dynamics, the toxicity holds so much truth for us to see that it is simply divine. It's so easy to revert to the victim mentality. She did this, he did that, he's like this, she's like that, constantly moaning about everyone else, which is to negate our responsibility for our own lives and why we are living the way we are living. Somebody else will just walk away. No thanks, not having that. That's way below my standards. Ciao. So why are you still there? Why are you moaning about everyone else? It's because you can't yet see how you are playing into the dynamics that are so easy to write off as toxic. No, they're not fun to go through. Toxic relationships are not easy to go through. But if you label it as toxic, it's bad, that's it, writing it off, you're not learning anything from your vibrational point of attraction, your life experience, or your own patterns, programs, belief systems, traumas, and on and on and on and on and on. Toxicity is divine. Your mirrors are divine. Universe, life is sending you yourself to see you. Where it gets confusing is you'll say, but I would never behave like that. I would never do something like that, which could be true in some instances. But how you respond to what they do is your mirror. It's showing you that. Are you staying around someone that's not good for you, hoping that you can change them to make your life better? Or hoping you can save them to make your life better? Or reacting impulsively every time they scream at you to make things better? You're playing into it with your behavior, and your behavior is so automatic. You identify with it as who you are, when it's not. It's something you learned to survive, to cope, to maintain attachment bonds as a child. And survival only gets you so far. Awakening is to help you let go of all the things that no longer serve you. Your toxic, as I also like to call it, toxic, not toxic relationship, or your divinely toxic relationship, is flagging up all of these parts that no longer serve you. That's why your relationship sucks. It doesn't suck. It's showing you all these things that no longer serve you. This person that's come to you is an angel. They're a mirror. They're an equal part of universe as you are. And they're only a permanent fixture in your life because you don't know how to act appropriately, to act on your own best interests and in a way that doesn't create more toxicity for you. So let's take an example of somebody that comes in the room screaming their head off. And then you jump up to defend yourself and protect everything and try and make everything good again and see what they need and all this. You're already lost. You've jumped into a dynamic without even checking in with yourself. Do I need this right now? Have I done anything that's worth being screamed at like this for? Tuning into your own body to feel, what am I feeling right now? Because what happens is you can't feel what's being triggered. That's why you jump into the automatic behavior, to protect yourself from feeling. Your toxic, not toxic partner is mirroring to you through their behavior, your response, your reaction, should I say, to that event. That's how you feed a toxic bond with your automatic behavior, because you're not able to feel the guilt being triggered. So to annihilate these feelings inside you, to diffuse your resistance to them and to maintain the block, you're constantly in an active, reactive role. And that plays into the hands of the person that needs attention and doesn't know how to ask for it in a beautiful way. By running into the room screaming, they know they have your attention. Toxicity is not toxic, it's divine. The patterns you've developed to survive as a child are ruining your adult life. And unbeknownst to you, these people are coming to you to show you you, and then you blame them and push them away and call them toxic because you can't see yourself. I urge you to sit still in trust in yourself the next time someone comes into your life all guns blazing. Why did you do this? Where is this? I can't find this. Really, when they're just really losing it, do nothing. Externally. Internally, tune in. What am I feeling? Do I even know this feeling? Can I handle this feeling? Because you might find, I like to call them inner earthquakes. They're triggering earthquake after earthquake after earthquake inside of you, that if you are not able to feel, you will play out the toxic, not toxic dynamic. And you will play it on and on and on and on. And these dynamics will expand, they will exaggerate, they will cement themselves into your life until the normal way of speaking to each other is just plain rude. Then you moan and complain about them your whole life just to justify yourself and feel better about yourself. The ego loves to position itself as good. So if you moan about everyone else, you're the good guy. So you actually need this person to feel good about yourself. This is another tangent. But if you're not able to feel these feelings that are being triggered, you are responsible for feeding half of that dynamic. Neither one of you is good or bad, right or wrong. We all lost our intuition connection, our intuitive connection, because we received unwanted reactions to our authentic, intuitive selves as kids. You are now ignoring red flags, danger signals from your intuition saying this is not nourishing, this is not serving you, this is not good for you. But because we learn to ignore these feelings to maintain attachment bonds as children, you're now ignoring them with your romantic partners and living a toxic lifestyle. But if you can see the magic in the toxicity, it's divine toxicity. Sit still as they come in screaming. Ask yourself, did I do anything that warrants this type of behavior or communication? Feel that inner earthquake inside you as they trigger it and push it, which is again how they are a divine messenger for you. They are reminding you of these feelings. They're giving you an opportunity to reconnect to them. Now, you don't have to ask them to be, I've forgotten the word right now, to get involved with this project with you. They might be really unconscious for the rest of their life and unable to deal with these situations. So you're not asking them, to cooperate. You're not asking them to get on board. Let them be themselves, coming in the room screaming, insulting, blaming, because that's their terrible way of asking to have a need met. As Marshall Rosenberg calls it, it's a suicidal attempt to get an unmet need met. They don't know how to ask consciously. They're in a panic. They're in survival. Wah, 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 wah. Funny, not funny. But you're doing it too. So your responsibility is your side of the dynamic. Unless, of course, you can work through it together and then you can turn a toxic, not toxic relationship into a progressive relationship. Through my toxic relationships, I found out about all of this stuff. I didn't even know what a progressive relationship was. I didn't know what attunement was. I didn't know what intimacy was. I didn't know what authentic expression was. I didn't know what vulnerability was. None of this stuff. So the toxic relationship woke me up to all of these things. But now that you're sitting there in your pain, feel what it is that they are triggering in you. That's the messenger here. Because as long as you ignore these feelings, you're going to jump externally to diffuse your resistance to these feelings and feed dynamics that you don't like, which are based on you not being able to feel yourself. That's why your relationships look like that, because you can't meet yourself. Let them scream at you, feel your body, and then ask yourself, is this nourishing? What is my body telling me? My body isn't telling me you should go and fix that person to feel better. It's telling you this person is not good for you. These are difficult decisions to make. You have to express yourself clearly. I need to be spoken to more sensitively. I would prefer if you spoke from your emotions rather than blaming me. There's so many other ways we can communicate if we are first able to recognize and hold these inner earthquakes, these unwanted emotions, without being reactive. Stop feeding the dynamics you don't want. And the only way you do that is by stopping reactivity. Because the reactivity is your automatic behaviors you developed as coping strategies. They got you so far, they're ruining your life now. And that person is there to show you, so you can choose to feel once more. And perhaps once you are better at feeling, you might realize that these people do not have your best interests to hand. Therefore, you must decide for yourself what your body is telling you and act appropriately, act intuitively, responding accordingly to what the body signals are telling you, which is this is not a nourishing experience. Do your level best to consciously communicate your needs, boundaries, and vulnerabilities. And if they are constantly ignored, then the best option is to leave this person. A vibrational shift can simply be a decision. It's not avoidant. You're not running away. You are saying, this is not good enough for me. I've done everything I can. I've communicated the best I can. This person isn't ready to see how their behavior affects others. And they're not ready to honor the vulnerability that I share with them, my vulnerability. Does it start to make sense? I hope so. These are very difficult decisions. You're not going to change anyone. You're not going to fix anyone, and you're not going to save anyone. Only yourself. So if you're looking externally to the other, you're avoiding your own work. You're avoiding your own responsibility. Because it's hard. It's a lot of painful truths. It is uncomfortable. And the way of the warrior is. Growth is uncomfortable. Doesn't harm you. It's just uncomfortable. A quick description of why. The ego is protecting you in a safe bubble where pain does not exist. We are choosing to break open that identity of who we think we are, to allow in a bigger truth that I am responsible for my pain and that there is a lot of pain. That's the uncomfortable feeling. The ego wants to resist it and block it out to keep you safe. So be smarter than your ego and recognize that you don't need to be kept safe right now. Open up those doors, those portals. Connect with those vulnerabilities, those pains, those inner earthquakes. And communicate them with your voice shaking and your heart trembling. Did I get them the right way around? But communicate them. And you will see how hard it is for you to speak your authentic truth. That's the uncomfortable feelings again. That's the shame and the guilt that you attach to these parts of you to push them down when they were not received lovingly as a child. We shamed ourselves, or we were shamed. We guilt-tripped ourselves, or we were made to feel guilty. It doesn't matter. There is a big burden of guilt and shame with all the aspects of self we have pushed down. Your mirror, your toxic, not toxic partner is the mirror to all of this, that you may reconnect with the feelings, with the parts of yourself, with your vulnerability, with speaking your truth, with speaking your authenticity. So tell me now, are they still toxic? It's divine. It's tough. It will wake you up in a million ways you could have never possibly perceived. It will wake you up from your illusion and your limited self-concept. You are so much more than you can possibly imagine, and you are so much greater than you could ever believe. We are infinite beings. My name is Ramsey Jordan. My channel is Global Molecule. Please like, subscribe, and share if this video has helped you. Still starting out, enjoying every video that I'm making. Thanks so much for tuning in, and see you next week.